Alrighty, guys, welcome back. We are watching ReZero Season 1, Episode 11. It's just called Rim. That sounds good to me. I'm down for some Rim. Last time, we are in quite the predicament with all these witch fiends and stuff, and Subaru's gonna die, and, I don't know. Things are rough right now, that's for sure. I hope we can figure it out, and I hope Subaru doesn't die. So, I know, that's crazy, I bet. This moon looks crazy. Anyway, let's get into it. We're watching season 1, episode 11, Rem of ReZero. You can line up your own copy with this if you want to. We are starting in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, I like that sound. Hmm, that's not not very. I don't like that custom very much. So I guess we're getting a Rem and Ram backstory. I'm all for that. Wow, a little bit bigger than Rem's horn that we've seen. Hmm. Okay. It's all right. I guess she was a little bit more powerful when she had her horn, wasn't she? Hmm. Aw. My God, that is powerful. Hmm. Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, something like that. That's what's going through Rim's head, of course. Of course. Oh. But see, hmm. Uh-huh. Okay. So I mean they're supportive. I hmm. Feel like I might be being trolled here though. I don't think this is an explanation for her behavior. Is feeling like she's inferior to Ram because of this, right? Because we know Ram's going to lose her horn. That was pretty cool. Come on. Can't tell me that's not cool, even if it wasn't as amazing or whatever. Hmm. I mean, I guess, she's obviously. I guess it probably is a large factor in her forming this inferiority complex, obviously. But Hmm. We know something goes wrong, though, so. There's something she can be good at, right? Oh, like the ones Ram made in the last episode? Okay. She's trying to prove herself, right? Right. What is a borrow rabbit? I hope it's just a normal rabbit and not something crazy. Ooh. Man, it has been raining so hard here the last few days. Oh my God. Oh. Man, the sounds of the wind magic are just crazy. Oh. Yeah, but hmm. Oh, And the worst part is, it's like in present time, it's like she's just given up on trying to prove herself anymore. It's not what she wanted to make. Ooh. And it's just not Ram's fault at all. That's just like that's like the sad thing is it's not Ram's fault in any way. If anything, I think their relationship and the way Ram treats her, Ram doesn't really, I think she understands that it's not a good thing. Because yeah, she wants to reassure her like this, but in present times, Rem has just like given up, and Ram's words don't get through to her at all. Hmm. But she loses her horn. Oh. Oh no. What? What even? Oh, those. Okay. It's really that there's okay. All right, awesome, fantastic. I guess. What on earth? Okay. I mean, I guess they're demons. I guess they're people who hunt them or something. Oh, but everyone's already dead. Like what? Ah, this is what we saw, right, in that one quick cut. Oh, oh man. Oh, and that's okay. And that's why. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's not because of her, but she blames herself because she had that thought. Right? Because she thought like that. Because she came to resent Ram, even though it's not Ram's fault at all. How did they get to the mansion though? It's like she has to make up for it because she thinks she blames herself for what happened to Ram. So she has to make up for it to this idolized version of Ram in her head. Who are you? Yeah. Oh man, that is rough. That's not her fault. It's not I Yeah, yeah. Man. Oh man, I'm just thinking about like how Subaru like relates to the same like problem in her head now. Okay, well, anyway, they got her. He succeeded in hitting her on the head. Yeah. That's just gonna make her. Yeah, like. Oh, God. Like, but literally, like, you can't even. He is the one who did that. Like, I don't, like, okay, whatever, whatever. I'm mad at Subaru. Like, her blaming herself for that is just as stupid as her blaming herself for her sister's horn getting cut off. Like, that's so dumb. So are you. Like, I don't want to blame Subaru. I'm not like Subaru wasn't thinking that. I'm just saying, like, hmm. How much does he really believe that, though? I don't know. Can't can't decide how much of a Subaru doubter to be. What? Just the return by death thing again? I guess. Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah. Uh-huh. In reality, it's not that different of a reason for the reason you act the way you do for him. That was a weird sentence. Okay, like they're so much faster than him. What's the plan? What do we? Oh, okay, yeah, cool. Okay, we're getting this music. All right. Yeah, sure. Uh-huh. Oh God. Okay. Is that gonna work? Hope he doesn't like pass out again. The sure. Okay. Oh, right. Right. Oh God. Is how okay, how is he not just dead right now? How did that not kill him? Oh God. I'm surprised that didn't just smash him and kill him. Oh? Who? Okay. Oh, Rosewall. What's up? Cool. That was easy. That's kind of funny. Everything was only a problem because we didn't have him around. It's funny he did leave on this night. Hmm. Uh-huh. Sure. We did it! We did it. Subaru didn't die. Oh, he is passing out. Oh my god. We're fine, right? We're not like it would be so awful if he's just dead and he reset. Okay, we're fine. We're good. Jesus Christ. They must have been. You're not dead. All of them. Man. Hmm. Don't apologize. They really are very similar. Like, truly, it's just like Rem is more open about it, about her feelings. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Likely. She just has to convince herself that, and that's certainly not your fault, Rem. Yeah, it's not like Ram blames her either. It really, it's just, yeah. I mean, okay. All right. There's all that on his. Okay. Well, I like just because you didn't do everything by yourself, that doesn't mean you didn't do anything. Like you didn't have to make. It's just she's created this thing in her mind that she has to do everything perfectly because she thinks that's what Ram would do. Well, don't worry, it wasn't Ram's fault. We can finally reach tomorrow. Ah, really makes you value every new day, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. I don't know about that. And that's everyone does. Man, it's just because Subaru can relate so much too, you know? Even if he even if there's a lot of that I wish he would apply to himself in a way that I don't know if he is. Controlling the witch fiends. Ooh, okay. One of the children. So it was one of the children? What? Okay. Hmm. Ah, it's making me think more and more that Subaru is here for this reason, for something involving this royal selection stuff. I mean, maybe that's obvious, right? I mean, he found himself immediately in the middle of it. Hmm, interesting. I wonder, yeah, okay. Huh. Does he have to replenish her mana? Is that like what horns do or something? And since she doesn't have one? I wish we could see where he came in exactly. Yeah. Hmm. The day I kill the dragon. Okay. I don't know the implications of that. I mean, we've heard it, we know the dragon, but I don't know what that means. Oh, you know what? We're at night. We look up at the moon, say the moon looks pretty. You know what to do. Come on. It's time. Yeah. I don't know if he does get it. He was being very reckless. Like, yeah. I, mm-hmm. You know, that smile feels nice and all. I still think we should maybe work on valuing our life a little bit. Sounds good to me. Oh, share the same memories. Because they don't share the same memories right now, do they? He has a lot more than her. All right. He got his reward, I guess. EMF. That's great. Oh, no spoilers. Okay. Man, that was a really good episode. That was a really good episode. We will talk about it in the discussion. Alrighty, guys, let's go through the episode. I kind of already rambled on a lot during it, so you kind of already have a lot of my thoughts about a lot of this, but I don't know. We'll talk about it anyway. Um, so first, I mean, kind of unrelated, not really, unrelated to the stuff I really want to talk about, but like, so there's demon clans apparently. It's just making me think about how like we don't know anything about the world, like at all. Because I guess Subaru's been busy, I guess, so we haven't really had time. But man, I don't know. It just makes me wonder, like, how's the world work? There's demon clans out there. There's apparently people hunting demons. I don't know. I don't know how it works. Who knows? I mean, we know there were like weird demi humans and stuff, and there's elves, and there's all this. I don't know. I want to learn about the structure of society. And apparently they gotta protect their pride as a race and dispose of them, which I don't know. I'm not much of a fan of that one. I don't know about all of that. Um, so Ram is awesome and powerful for some. I mean, I don't know if there's a reason for it. Maybe who knows? I don't know. She's really strong. Maybe she's the chosen one. She's the Avatar. I don't know. Um, so Ram, I mean, like, I said this during the episode that I felt like I was kind of getting trolled in a way because the way that this is set up is if you're like really thinking about the characters, you've been really into it. You've obviously, it's obvious that Rim has this crazy inferiority complex. And the way that this like sets it up is it almost makes you feel like Rim's inferiority complex is just built off of this dynamic between her and Ram, which like it is, but like not it's much deeper than that because it's built off of like an imaginary version of Ram that she created in her head, right? So I guess that's just what I meant is it felt like it was like trolling me because it would be easy to think like, oh, so the reason Rim acts the way she does is because she just feels inferior to Ram and that's it. But I guess, maybe kind of one and the same in a way, but it's different, Because, like, if she just felt inferior to Ram, it would be. I feel like it would be easier to fix her problem, right? But it's not just that she feels inferior to Ram, it's that there's this imaginary version of Ram in her head that never lost her horn, and she feels like she has to live up to whatever that version of Ram would have done if she had never lost her horn, So in that case, it's like man, really difficult to get through to her, I guess. I mean, you kind of see that in the end with the conversation between Rem and Subaru, because it's like she can just always think like, oh, if I had lost my horn instead of Ram would be so much better than me right now. You know, it's like it's crazy. Because it's not just an inferiority complex. It's just man, and obviously so much of it comes to the fact that she blames herself so much for what happened. Anyway, and I like this. It's like it's very similar to like she wants to make dinner for everyone. She goes out into the forest, tries to collect everything. It's very similar to like literally what she's trying to do right now. Right? She goes out into the forest to try and kill all the witch fiends by herself to save Subaru, because she thinks she has to prove herself by doing everything by herself. Because I mean, in this case, it's obviously before the whole Ram losing her horn thing, so it's more of a normal inferiority complex, I guess. But of course, like, um, man, it's not Ram's fault, and I mean, it was a natural thing that happened. This whole lightning striking the tree, all of this, Ram saving her. But it just ends up making it worse. They tell her to not go into the forest again. And Ram is so sweet, and so I feel so bad for Ram too. I want more focus on Ram and like what Ram thinks about their whole dynamic and stuff. I feel like we've already gotten a lot of it. We know that Ram obviously doesn't like revel in the way that Ram treats her. It's very. I mean, I can't imagine. I wonder if they've tried to talk about it before. If Ram has tried to talk to her about it and it's just gone nowhere. I assume so. I mean, because the fact that their entire fucking family was burned to death. I feel like that kind of, you know. Man, all they have is each other. I just, oh god, it sucks. It is not pleasant. And I guess like yeah, it's almost like, what we see here is this. It's almost like she comes to terms with the fact that she's inferior to Ram, which is ridiculous, obviously. But she at least has this kind of like this way to cope with it in a way where at least she can tie her own self-worth to how amazing and awesome Ram is, right? She can just say, "Oh, I'm her sister, I can just support her, and as long as Ram is awesome and doing amazing things, I can just ride off of her coattails and be like, yeah, I'm her sister. I can just follow her, right?" But then, I obviously that's not going to work because this insane, awful shit happens and everyone dies. Man, when we first got to this scene, I couldn't even tell like what I was looking at in these frames with these, but it's just everyone's body burning and dead. So that's fantastic. And yeah, Rem gets her horn cut off. Rem, God, it's so awful that she. I mean, it's not awful that she thought this. It's awful that she, like, man, I kind of do want to blame her parents in a way. I feel bad that they're lying in a burned body pile off screen over there, but like the things they were saying, the way they were acting, it really did kind of. They certainly didn't help with Rim's development of the way that she's thinking like this. Um, and like of course, on some level, she's going to develop some kind of resentment towards Ram. And it just works together perfectly with her inferiority complex that she's developed too to make her hate herself for it that she feels that at all. Because of course it's impossible for her to accept it fully, to fully accept that, oh, I'm just inferior and that's just how it is and everyone's always going to like Ram more than me. So of course she would think something like this, right? I mean, like, and it's not like she really means it. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm actually really happy that my sister is going to suffer and is. Like she doesn't actually. I'm sure the instant she thought that, the instant she had a feeling of relief that happened, it was just like immediately, she just goes into thoughts like this. Of course, she blames herself for it entirely, not just like, I mean, obviously, I'm sure she doesn't literally blame herself for her sister getting a horn cut off. She just thinks that because she exists, her sister had to save her, and that put her in the position where she got her horn cut off. So it just all goes back to the same idea of that she shouldn't exist and that she. And I mean, and just all of these shots and cuts, it just really reminds you of how similar Grim and Subaru are. Like they really are. They're just two people suffering pretty much from very similar inferiority complexes. Um, in a way, Rim is actually just more honest with herself, with her actions about it, than Subaru is. I guess it's hard to say. We don't get to hear Subaru's thoughts very often, so who actually knows, I guess. And yeah, I mean, someone telling her that she's doing good, even Ram telling her that she's doing fine. It's never, yeah, we don't know who this is. I don't know. Apparently there was a third maid at one point who doesn't exist anymore. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, I guess it just goes back to if she had never been born, if she wasn't Ram's twin, then man, rough, I guess. It's almost like all of this is like the almost the kind of mindset that Subaru himself would be stuck in if he didn't have Return by Death. It's like it feels very similar to the kind of thought process that Subaru would end up going through if he lost everyone and these terrible things happened to him, and he didn't have Return by Death as a cheat code to go back and fix it. Because Rim didn't have Return by Death to fix this. Subaru's mindset is so like it's not the same as hers really. Her inferiority complex is so like honed in and focused on one person, which is Ram. Subaru is just it's different. He feels like he's not enough to himself, I guess. Rem thinks she's not enough like for society at large and like for her sister. Hmm. And I mean, like I said this before, and what was it, episode 9? It was 2 episodes ago, right? About how what Rim is trying to do when she was trying to like fight the witch fiends and save Subaru, all of that, um, that first time before he pushed her out of the way and got cursed and all that, right? Is just like her trying to prove her actions to herself. Um, and I guess yes, that is what she was trying to do in that case, and obviously in this case too, with everything she's doing, right? But it's not like that's really a good thing, the way she's going about it, obviously. Like you can't just reject everyone else and be like, oh, I have to do everything by myself, or I'm completely inferior and not enough. So, like, yes, I mean, like, I still kind of stand by what I was saying about Subaru and Rim and that interaction there, where he pushed her out of the way and all of this, because it did have negative repercussions on Rim in terms of like her thought process, right? Like obviously, like it just made her throw herself into the situation even more and do all of this crazy shit that has them in the situation they're in now. Ignoring like the fact they'd be in this situation anyway because Subaru needs to not die, whatever. But like yes, it had this negative impact on Rem because Subaru did that, and I think like uh the motivation for Subaru pushing her out of the way is the important part for me, right? Like, again, obviously, if she would have died to the witch fiends if he had pushed her out of the way, it makes sense why he did that. But it's just, I think it comes down to, like, his motivation for having to save her there, in his mind, is, like, the same reason why she feels like she has to prove herself and go out and do this crazy shit, right? That's what I'm trying to say, is, like, I just don't believe in Subaru's motivations as being this, like, it's almost like Rim's actions here and the way Rim is acting to deal with her inferiority complex is like showing you how it's like that for Subaru too, I guess. I don't know. I've kind of done that subject to death, that scene. I don't know. Maybe I'm really thinking too much about it, but because I guess it all just comes down to whether or not Rim would have died for the witch fiends. But you have to remember that Subaru didn't know if she would have died either. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. And there's like the ridiculous thing that Rim thinks in a second about how like she didn't pull Subaru out of the way too because she like hesitated. That's like stupid. I just don't. I'm not saying it's stupid as in this like I'm saying it's like that's a crazy thing for Rim to think. Rim, like that's just yeah. Like of course she would think that. Um of course she would blame herself for it. Of course I mean, yeah. She shouldn't be thinking that, is what I'm trying to say, I guess. Hmm. And I do really like this like cut on his forehead. It's almost like it looks like he like had a horn that was lost too. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like in the same spot as like Rem's horn would be. She has a scar there. Or Ram's horn, I mean. Anyway, we do all this crazy shit to fucking save the day, I guess. I'm still, man, I'm still thinking like, is Subaru, is Subaru really thinking about the consequences of his actions that much? Because I just want to remind you again, like, think about what would happen if Subaru died in this case. And everything that has happened since, I mean, what was it, episode 8 or something? Was just, like, undone, and he had to start over again. How horrible it would be. How awful it would be. He has to value his life more. I'm sorry, he just has to. Like, it's great and all that he can be all heroic and do all of this. He has to value his life more. I'm sorry, he just has to. Um, And because it keeps working out, it makes me feel like an asshole for saying this every time he does something like this, because it does keep working out for him. And it's, yeah, it's heroic, and it's, wow, how great he is for doing this, and but he has to value his life more. He has to. I guess it just goes back to the same thing I was saying about when he pushed Ram out of the way. I just he needs to value his life more. He has to. Like, Rem is sitting here valuing his life way more than he is, thinking all this stuff. It's like, to me, it's like that's. And it's like, because Subaru has returned by death, he doesn't have to deal, and I mean, I guess anyone who dies doesn't have to deal with the repercussions that it's going to have on the other people around you. And because Subaru has returned by death, he can even more so just disregard, like, what would be going on in Rem's mind if he did die here for her. But, like, he has to think about it. Like, I just can't, like, imagine if Return by Death stopped working here, and he just died right here in front of Rem. Like, think about what that would do to her. Man, I don't know. And just because it keeps working for Subaru, there's just always the argument that, I mean, it worked out. And it's like, oh, you can just say, oh, what should he have done otherwise. Man, it's just the disregard for his own life, for himself, and for what it would mean for Rem, who's staring at him and watching him when he could just be squished into a bloody pulp right now and die, and, like, what that would do to her, too. And I guess it's just, again, it's like, what should he do otherwise? Man, I don't know. It just can't be right. That's where I'm leaving it. Anyway, Roswell shows up, saves the day. I was thinking, like, it's kind of crazy that we only had this problem, that everything that's happened for the past, like, 2-3 episodes has only been a problem because Rosewall left and wasn't around. I guess he could have just instantly fixed everything. Which, I don't know. You can call it a writing convenience, or you can say it's, like, in-universe awfully convenient, isn't it? And I don't know which way to think of it, Like, did all of this happen because Rosewall was out of town? Because whoever was controlling the Witch Fiends, knew that Rosewall wasn't going to be around? Maybe. It makes you take his warning about how they have to, like, be careful while he's gone. It makes you take it a lot more seriously, doesn't it? Like, man, there really are people out there trying to, I don't know, do something, I guess. To kill Amelia, I assume. I mean, this whole royal selection business seems pretty serious. Subaru did make it out alive. He sure did. You know what? I won't go into it again. I won't go into it again. You know what I'm thinking. I don't know. You know what I'm thinking. So, I mean, there's very nice conversation that Rem and Subaru have here. I like it. It's very good. I can't help but think that a lot of the stuff Subaru says here is stuff that he needs to apply to himself as well. And I guess you can say, like, perhaps through this conversation with Rem, because it's almost like Subaru can learn a lesson from Rem and the way she is acting and, like, her behavior, to apply to his own behavior, because they're so similar, And a lot of the stuff he says here, like, goes along with that, obviously. I just don't know. I just don't know if I should say that I feel like he's actually learned a lesson or not. That he's actually going to apply any of this stuff to himself as well. Because he can relate so much to the feeling of inferiority, obviously. But I feel like his feeling of inferiority, I don't really feel like it's born from the same thing of putting other people on a pedestal. Although maybe that's inherent to the idea of feeling inferior, so maybe he kind of has to. He does kind of put Amelia on a pedestal. He really does, like, for real. But I don't really think that is, like, I don't think that informs his inferiority complex, really. I think that's kind of a separate issue. Um, hmm. Hmm. I don't know. I don't know. I guess that's just maybe that's all I have to say about this. I mean, it's a very nice scene. It's a very good scene. Subaru's really, you know. I just hope he can say all of this nice stuff about Rem and recognize the value in her. I hope he can recognize the value in himself as well. That's all I'm saying. And I just think his just clearly how much he disregards his own life and his own the value of his own relationships. But you know, of course, he does have Return by Death, so I mean, there is that. I just don't believe. I guess I just don't believe that he would really be acting that differently if he didn't have Return by Death. You know, if he didn't have Return by Death, I feel like he would be doing the same stuff anyway. Return by Death is giving him the option to like make the correct decisions and retry and put himself in these situations where he can do this type of stuff. But like if he was in the same position, like if he knew that Return by Death wasn't going to work and he knew that if he died he was dead, he would have done the same thing that he did at the end there in that last scene, right? Like for sure. And whether or not that's a good thing, it's impossible to say because it's just the interplay between how much you value yourself and your own life versus, you know, being sacrificial and you know, doing things for other people. It's not like a dilemma that can just be solved. So, hmm, man, I don't know. I don't know. It's just I guess it's just something impossible to like fully it's not something you can just figure out, I guess. You know, there's no answer to it. Hmm. Ah, and we can finally talk about tomorrow, can't we? Because it really is. It's like, I mean, Rim has really just been. I mean, Rim. Sorry, I hope I haven't mixed up the names too much. Rim has really just been. Yeah, she's been stuck in the past, like literally, pretty much. You know, like I mean, she can't. She hasn't been able to move on from the from that fiery night, as Ram calls it. Um, yeah, it's just her entire life has just been for making up for it. You know, in a way, it kind of reminds me of like Subaru trying to chase the future of his date with Amelia that, you know, I mean he kind of got it. It's not the same future. He's not back at the same point that he wanted to be at, but it kind of reminds me of that in a way. You know, he's chasing a future, she's trying to make up for the past. Hmm. There's nothing wrong with leaning on people. And see, I mean, I'm just saying, even the way Subaru words this, expecting others to take care of things for me, like it really, to me, it's like compare the way Rim said it. She said she's gonna have to lean on him, but he says this weird thing about expecting others to take care of things for him. It really is. It's like he is so much more cynical and so much more, I guess not dishonest, but so much more like down on himself for the same types of thoughts, the same type of inferiority that he feels. You know, like surely you can understand what I mean. The difference between saying you're going to lean on someone and that you're going to and that applying to your own actions that you're just expecting others to take care of things for you, you know? Like I don't know. I'm just saying. I as nice of a speech as this is and you know, he yeah, I mean, he can really man, he can really give other people motivation, can't he? It's like for himself, I just think it's hmm, I don't know how much he's applying it to himself, you know. Hmm. 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 And I don't want to be too much of a downer. Like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I I'm not trying to be too negative, but anyway, someone's controlling the witch fiends. I assume it's the same type of thing with this crazy like yeah, in the first few episodes with the crazy lady trying to kill Amelia and steal her pendant thing. And I mean, it all goes back to this royal selection stuff. It's I've brought it up a few times about how it's just this crazy political situation that Subaru has found himself in the middle of immediately, and it just makes me feel like the reason why he's in this world in the first place and has these powers, um, it's like he keeps kind of fixing these problems that would be preventing Amelia from ascending to the throne, right? So is that why he's in this world in the first place? Like is that I don't know. But like would the if the Witch of Envy is the one who gave him these powers, but we do know that Amelia has like this weird connection to the Witch of Envy stuff, so I I don't know. I mean, it's too early to really predict anything at all. So I guess that's just an update on my thoughts on that, I suppose. Anyway, I assume Ram's horn has something to do with her like regenerating mana. So Rosewall gives her mana or something, I guess. I really want to know how the sisters got here to the mansion. We didn't see that. We just kind of in the flashback they were just suddenly here. Rosewall saved them in some way, evidently, right? And him saying, for the sake of his goal, he has to win the battle for the throne. I mean, that obviously just makes me think, like, is he just viewing Amelia as a tool to get to the throne? Very, very likely, I feel like. Because I guess without him, would Amelia really have any chance? I have no idea. Probably not. And he wants to kill the dragon. I don't know what the implications of that are. I don't know what that will do. I have no idea. I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know if that's a bad thing. I don't know. He wants to kill the dragon. Sure. And Subaru gets his reward. He gets his date with Amelia. Um, hmm. How negative do I want to be? What do we think? Like the reason I'm calling it a reward is because it really is. It is a reward for his behavior. How do we feel about his behavior over these last episodes? How do we feel about it? He saved his own life. He threw his okay. Let's assess his behavior again, right? So he kind of learned the lesson, I guess, of having to treat other people as like real, and he did have to form a relationship with like Rim and Ram, in order to not die, right? So I guess that's a lesson we can say he learned throughout these episodes. He isn't valuing his own life very much, but we've talked about that many times. Maybe that's the main lesson he learned. I guess because that kind of was the solution, right? Was the solution to his problem was he had to form a real, actual relationship with the people around him in order to not get murdered by them. So, like, I guess, I suppose, I don't know how negative to be about it. And it's not like I'm saying I'm being negative about like the writing or something, right? I'm just saying it's fully like the author's intention might be that in some way for me to feel negative about it in some way. Maybe not like on a surface level, certainly, but on maybe some meta level. I don't know. And I mean, and I'm fully open to changing my mind about this if I feel like Subaru has learned some kind of concrete lesson about things that I think are clearly negative aspects of like the way he views himself, then I'm all for it. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Because I just feel like in a lot of ways his behavior through the past couple episodes especially could reinforce his disregard for his own life because he did get rewarded for it. So I don't know. We'll see. We will see. I'm not saying for sure that like we'll just see. We'll just have to see. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And that is the end. I don't want to get spoiled. He gets his date. We made it. We made it back to the future, except not really. You can never return to the same future. It's lost forever. But he's back. Is that it? Yeah, I think so. It was a good episode. Yeah, that was cool. Leave a comment, tell me what you guys think. And I will see you in the next one.